intense.
Paul McGuire Grimes.
Hi.
ABC Minneapolis. Hey, Rose, Tony, it's Paul. Thank you
Hi,
both so much
Paul.
for the time today. It's always a treat getting to talk to both of you, and congrats on the film. I enjoyed it, so thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Tony, I want to start with you. This isn't the first movie that you've directed. You've done a lot of television, but when do you decide that a project just fits what you're looking for as a director versus as an actor?
It has to, I've learned, it has to have something that what it's about at its core is something that's deeply personal to me. And in this case, my best friend wrote this movie inspired by his own experience with his autistic child, who I've known since he was a baby. And so when I read Tony Spiridakis' script, I just said, we got to do this together. So it was very personal. So this is maybe more than anything I've done. This was really, from the heart for me.
Absolutely. I love that connection there because you just then feel that authenticity on screen. Rose, I'm curious, what did you learn about what it must be for a parent to have a child on the autism spectrum? And did William Fitzgerald, who plays your son, did his parents provide any guidance there?
Oh yeah, William's parents, Laura and Dave, were extraordinary, and just as a family, collectively, they're really warm. William's really warm. He's an accessible kid. He comes in with a hug, and so immediately you feel able to relate and talk to him and us, get on the same page. He's just and that. But I met with I have a friend who has an autistic child, so I spoke with her at length. The thing is, you kind of meet them at this crisis moment with this family of trying to get this kid just can't kind of assimilate into the regular norms and what that looks like, and then obviously it goes on this journey. But I related to the parenting aspect of it, obviously in such a heartfelt way. And Tony Spiridakis was also an incredible touchstone because this is about to meet, inspired by his son. So he was always a great touchstone in the story too.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Tony, how did you and the production team really create this inclusive set to make it sure that it was authentic as possible?
Well, the first thing was involving the autism community. We knew we were going to cast an autistic kid to play Ezra, and then we had one of our associate producers, Alex Plank, is autistic, and he's an actor and a producer himself, and he's a big spokesman for the autism community. So Alex was on set every day. We had other neurodivergent people working on the movie and a couple of other consultants who we were constantly in dialogue with to make sure we got this right. In addition to the number of our people on our crew and stuff were parents of autistic kids themselves. Yeah. Several of our cast members had that, our producers. So it was about really embracing and involving the community in order to get it right. Because I was new to the community, and I think Rose was too.
I think that is so important. So thank you for doing that. Rose, I always love when you get to partner with your husband, Bobby, on screen. So how does he make you a better actor? And I'm going to ask him the same thing about you too.
He's really bossy. He's just like bossy. He's like, oh, you're going to do it like that? Oh, okay. He's just bossy. I'm like, shut up. Leave me alone. He's like that all the time. So I'll just go to Tony and be like, can you tell him to But luckily on this, he was so busy. He was too tired to boss me around too much. No, we had a lot of fun.
Oh my God, you both are so fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love hearing that when you guys are on screen together. Tony, what do you hope dads out there can take away from this story that may be in the same position as Bobby's character?
Well, I think that, this movie, whether you have an autistic child or not, this movie is about allowing your child to be who they are. And we put so much pressure on ourselves as parents to make sure our child fits into the norms and meets these benchmarks and does, succeeds in the way that we think they're supposed to succeed. And you learn as a parent, I've learned myself over the years, you're almost always wrong. Yeah. So who listen to your children? And that's something, ultimately Max and Jenna, Rose's character, they really, Ezra's just being himself. And when they kind of embrace that, all of a sudden the family's able to come together and be okay. So that's what really the film is about, whether it's about neurodivergence or not.
Just listen to your child. I love that. That's such a great way to wrap. Thank you both for your time today. I hope families get a lot out of this movie. So thank you both. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul McGuire Grimes, ABC Minneapolis. Bobby, it is always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you both. Thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
Hi, Paul. Nice to see you. I like your DVD library.
Yeah, it's huge. I really appreciate it. I've got The Irishman over there. I've got all the Ant-Man movies. I have a bunch of Rose
Awesome.
movies too, of course. So yeah,
I love it. It's great.
family represented. Yeah, thank you. Now I'm
Yeah.
curious. I want to know, how is Tony Goldwyn as a director, knowing that he's already an actor as well? Is the communication a little different there than most directors?
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of actor directors, and I find them to be really easy to understand. I mean, for the obvious reasons, Tony spent a lifetime in front of the camera. He's been directing for a long time now. We're good friends. So it was, it's just one of those. It's one of those jobs that you enjoy going to for other reasons other than the script or the other actors. I mean, it's really nice to have a leader that you really can feel like you could put yourself in their hands. And Tony really knew this material really well. He's very good communicator. He's very articulate, and he knows how to talk to an actor. So yeah, I couldn't imagine a different director.
Yeah, that's so great. Now, speaking of kind of keeping in the family and friends, you get to work with your wife Rose Byrne, who I love. How does she make you a better actor?
I just don't. I just, Rose to me is this astonishing artist. Look, I always say one of the things people forget, that this is a job. Like it's a lot of fun and it has a lot of great rewards and you get to be with people all day. But at the end of the day, you have to concentrate and you have to focus to be able to bring truth to these scenes. And sometimes that's hard when you know the other person or when you're an admirer of the other person. I'm both of Rose and I know her so well. And so she brings a real honesty. Like once the cameras are rolling, she's just so honest and so dimensional that I feel like I'm with this character. I don't really feel like I'm with Rose. So that's really a testament to her talent. She's just a super talented, multidimensional artist, and it's a pleasure to work with her and Bob De Niro and this kid who doesn't know any better, but he's just got it all.
I think that authenticity there is real in all of your performances, and that honesty. There's a difference here between how a dad responds to having an autistic child and what the mom does in Rose's character. What do you hope dads out there take away from this story?
Oh, listen, I would never tell anybody how to parent their child. I just know that for this particular character, his reactiveness and his sometimes his irrationality in dealing with the situation sometimes comes back to hurt him. And so the idea of like just taking a moment to take in the information and maybe just take a breath. I would say it's probably the best advice anybody ever gave me. It certainly helps my parenting. It doesn't help to, if your kid tells you he hates you, it probably best to take a moment and not yell back, "I hate you too," right? But plenty of dads do that, or say the wrong thing. And I think Max has had a lifetime of being this way. And if anything, I think his evolution in the movie is that he learns how to take a breath. And so I guess that would be my advice to any dad. Just take a breath, man, because it's a long road.
I have a 2-year-old, and that advice to just take a breath is really needed right now. I got the wrap. Bobby, it's always a great pleasure talking to you. So thank you for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. See ya.